Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky from Illinois is a strong advocate for gun control, and she joins us now. Congresswoman, it's good to have you here, and we learned just from the police reports about what this shooter had. The 3 guns, 1 assault rifle, $6,000 worth of ammunition. In light of this,
6,000 bullets. It was 6,000 bullets.
Correct, 6,000 bullets, pardon me.
Yes.
But you are now calling on your colleagues to take action against gun violence. When you say that you are calling on your colleagues to do this, what specifically do you want to see happen?
Well, I know that Carolyn McCarthy, whose husband was killed on the Long Island Railroad, a longtime gun safety advocate, has suggested legislation which I support. But really what we have to have is a national discussion about this. Do we think that an individual, any individual, needs to purchase 6,000 bullets online? Do we think that any individual really needs a weapon that will shoot 100 rounds at one time? Do you need that to hunt? Do you need that for any reasonable purpose? Of course not. And I think that most Americans actually agree with that. But the National Rifle Association is so powerful and so political. You know, they're now saying, oh, well, let's not make this political. There's no one more political than the National Rifle Association, who anytime they say they're going to measure a member of Congress by how they vote on gun laws, as soon as they introduce anything, you get some 300 members of Congress without even reading the bill voting in favor of the NRA position. It's just ridiculous. It's gone too far.
Well, Congresswoman, do you think it's naive for people who are listening to you right now to think that anything will happen in light of what we saw in Aurora, Colorado, given the fact that just 18 months ago, a congresswoman was nearly assassinated by just showing up at a Safeway? And you walk around the halls of Congress, people just like you who've been elected to office, who hold similar types of events like that, who put yourself in harm's way. So you know firsthand that someone like yourself could be attacked in a situation like that, yet 18 months later, nothing has been done. So why now would it be any different?
Because I think that parents who, yes, right now are mourning for the victims of the tragedy in Colorado should be calling on their congressman to say, I want my children to be safe when they go to the movies, and I want my children on the streets of Chicago and other places, even in rural areas, to be safe when they go out. There's no good reason for people to have the kind of weapons that are available right now and the kind of 6,000 bullets that a crazy person like him could buy online legally and bring into a theater. I mean, enough is enough. And it's just ridiculous that the NRA keeps pushing this kind of legislation as if the American people really need to have those weapons or even want to have those weapons.
Congressman, I think a lot of people would agree, but also I need to remind you about 9-year-old Christina Taylor Greene, who died outside of that Safeway 18 months ago in Arizona. And still, families that may have called to express their concern and their grief over a 9-year-old being killed and murdered outside of a Safeway, we still have nothing done. So now that we look at a 6-year-old lost in Aurora, again, I say, why is that going to make anything different now?
Well, I hope that there is some kind of a tipping point where finally the American people just get fed up with the dangers on their streets, now the dangers in a movie theater, with the kinds of demands by the National Rifle Association for more and more ability for people to carry guns everywhere and anywhere. And I really do think that, you know, if you really look at the agenda of the National Rifle Association, that wanted to protect $3,000 worth of weapons in bankruptcy, that people should be able to maintain those and keep them safe from creditors. That kind of ridiculous legislation and the ridiculous idea of someone buying 6,000 bullets, I think that maybe there is a tipping point. I hope it's now. Yes, we mourn for all those whose lives were lost. It's a very serious issue. But you know that in 10 states, gun homicide exceeds traffic accidents right now, vehicular accidents. And so we have to do something about it. There's no reason in the United States of America, the land of the free, that people have to be afraid to go to the movies.
Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of Illinois. Congresswoman, thank you for your time and your honesty this morning. I appreciate it. I want to bring in our